This is the Juicy Astrology for Saturday, December 4th through Friday, December 10th, 2021. Welcome. Hello, beauties. Welcome to the Juicy Astrology for Saturday, December 4th through Friday, December 10th, 2021. I'm Divinely Jennifer. Greetings from the very cold and foggy Sierra foothills of California. This definitely feels like Neptune in Pisces weather, where you often find yourself dreaming off into the distance. How are you holding up after Friday night's solar eclipse? One girlfriend told me she felt as if she had been hit by a bus, and another said she had a healing crisis. This week doesn't have a lot of transits going exact, and that's a very good thing. The energy is shifting. You may experience it as a seesaw, as autumn ends and transitions into winter. Some days are warm and sunny, while others feel like an Arctic blast. Try not to let the weather or the astrology control your mood. Even when it's cold and gray outside, we can still shine with warmth, love, and vitality on the inside. When you feel cold, warm yourself up. You don't have to suffer. Take a brisk walk, dance, drink some broth or tea, or sit by a fire. Whatever you do, it should feel good. Make it count. There's a difference between needing to rest and pause versus feeling stuck. A big difference. We rest and pause to allow new inspirations and to allow the oxygen in. Inhaling to balance the exhale, because in our world, our fast-paced modern world, it seems like we're always doing, we're always exhaling, and it's hard to catch a breath. When we're stuck, though, we've lost the connection to our purpose and what makes our fire burn in the first place. Either way, it's all about our inner warmth and fire. If you need to rekindle your inner fire, I invite you to schedule an astrology and health reading with me on my website, www.divinelyjennifer.com. Understanding our divine natal blueprint, especially when you include all the goddesses, and seeing our gifts laid out in the stars, it can be incredibly validating, empowering, healing, and light our inner fire. Readings with me also make great holiday gifts for your favorite people, including yourself. Simply click View Products and Packages at the top of my booking page to purchase a gift session for yourself or for others. Likewise, I'll be offering an online retreat during the Venus retrograde from December 19th through January 29th with a couple of treasured soul sisters. Stay tuned for a free webinar on the Venus retrograde as well as sign-up information. And with no further ado, let's get to the Juicy Astrology for Saturday, December 4th through Friday, December 10th, 2021. All times listed are Pacific Daylight Time, so please adjust according to your time zone. Saturday, December 4th and Sunday, December 5th, the moon shifted from spiritual and adventurous Sagittarius to diligent and practical Capricorn. There were no major transits. Thank goodness, as most people needed to recover from the eclipse. Monday, December 6th, the waxing moon in Capricorn is determined to get to the top of the mountain, one step after another. She goes void with a sextile to Mars in Scorpio at 8:42 p.m., giving her the courage and determination to take a few more steps today. Speaking of Mars, this morning, Mars in Scorpio sextiled Pluto in Capricorn at 3:41 a.m. They were both at 25 degrees 10 minutes. Anytime these two powerhouses come together, we feel it in the few days prior. I think this is one of the reasons the eclipse felt so intense for many. Mars in Scorpio inspires deep courage, the kind you have to feel in your bones in order to take on a life or death fight. I found out earlier today that Senator Bob Dole had died yesterday on the 5th, and it was a World War II veteran who served in Congress as a senator for many, many years. The energy of his death is perfect for this eclipse. He was ultimately a warrior who had been injured in the war and passed during the eclipse. And so many people I know do compare the last 18 months to a life or death fight for themselves and for humanity. In some ways, it kind of is. But what if you put that same amount of energy, the same amount of drive and determination into living your purpose? Propaganda be damned. And that's exactly what this transit offers us. We can focus our energy through anger and vitriol at people and authorities we deem a threat, which honestly is exactly what they want. Or we can focus our energy on living our purpose, sharing our gifts and resources, and transforming ourselves by doing so. You decide. Choose wisely. Tuesday, December 7th, is the biggest day for the Juicy Astrology video, for this one. The sky is busy. Then it quiets down again until Saturday when it picks back up. The waxing moon enters Aquarius at 3:48 a.m. She is energized all day. Pay attention to ideas around creativity, fertility, healing, structures, resources, and spiritual knowledge. There are several major exact transits today, including 4 important squares. Now, before you go hide your head under the covers because of all those squares, take a listen, as there are ways you can use this energy constructively. First, Venus in Capricorn has her first square with Eris and Aries at 3:03 a.m. They're both at 23 degrees, 47 minutes. They'll square again on December 30th when Venus is retrograde, and the last time on February 26th when she is back direct. Were you ever bullied or teased as a young child? Did you ever feel powerless because you knew it was wrong but you couldn't stop it? I was, and I did. It fostered a lot of anger in me that I had to work out as a teenager through music and singing. Thank goodness for music and Mark Shaw, my high school music teacher. Back to the teasing. When I was in the 4th grade, there was a boy named Paul from 6th grade who teased me incessantly. It was torture. I can still see the school playground where he would come and find me during morning and lunch recesses. As a gymnast, my joy was to twirl and sometimes show off around the monkey bars during recess, but he would make it impossible. He never touched me or threatened me physically in any way, though I suspect, had I been game, he would have taken me off to the bushes for some show and tell, if you know what I mean. Looking back now, it was like he was energetically poking me. Poke, poke, poke. I wanted to punch him, but instead, I told my mom, who told the principal of the school. At first, the message relayed back to me was, "Oh, he has a crush on you. Don't let it bother you. Don't encourage him." As if I was encouraging him. I wanted him to leave me the F alone. That was so disempowering. Of course, the teasing continued until I finally told my mom that I was going to punch him the next time he bothered me. I mean, Eris and Venus can only take so much, right? The teasing happened less frequently after that, but it didn't stop completely until the summer, and I never saw him again. Even now when I think about it, there is a part of me that is still angry because I didn't actually punch him. And there is also, which is probably the majority part of me, an older and wiser part of myself that recognizes that we were both innocent children. And it was the adults who didn't know how to communicate that while also empowering us in our sovereignty. I tell you this story because this transit and Venus's upcoming retrograde in Capricorn could stir up some energy and stories for you around lost innocence, especially around youth and sexuality. Harvard University published a study in 2019 where 6.5% of women surveyed in America said that they had lost their virginity through rape and or coercion. That translates to over 3 million American women. I suspect that number is actually a lot higher, especially in countries where women don't have as much of a say and where rape is a crime for the victim, not for the perpetrator. Eris and Venus inspire us to live in a world where that number is 0, where the first experience of sex and sexuality, no matter how you gender or sexually identify, is founded on love, sovereignty, and empowerment. Eris wants to make sure that everyone has a voice, not only in sex, but in all things. She's totally willing to stir up chaos if she thinks it's helpful. And Venus, she is pure love. She can help us love and forgive ourselves for all of the places we blame ourselves for not having a voice, which then caused suffering for ourselves and others. The reality is, our current paradigm has made it impossible for us to feel like we can maintain our innocence. The good news is, the new Earth paradigm and the Venus retrograde teach us that we never lost it in the first place. We just need to reclaim it. I'll be covering their second square in much greater detail during the Venus retrograde retreat I mentioned in the intro, so stay tuned. Then today at 7:16 a.m., Mercury in Sagittarius squares Neptune in Pisces. They're both at 20 degrees, 24 minutes, and that's the same place that Neptune stationed direct last week. I've spoken a lot about lies in the last several months, especially when the transits involve Mercury and Neptune. The messenger and the ruler of the seas, dreams, and intuition square 3 times. They did square 3 times in May, June, and July 2021, respectively, when Mercury was in Gemini, and twice during the eclipses of that season. So 2 of the 3 squares happened during eclipse season, just like this one. What happens in eclipse season certainly doesn't stay in eclipse season. And I have a feeling that anything we heard and experienced back then could crop up again now, especially in court and law cases. Because Mercury is in the sign of truth and law, and also religion and dogma. Will the truth come out with his transit? I think some truth, yes, which the spin doctors, especially the one doctor with a Napoleonic complex, will try to cover up with more half-truths. But here's the thing, my friends. Be responsible for your truth. You don't have to be responsible for anyone else's. If you can sniff out a lie with your intuition, if your inner compass keeps you out of the fear zone, don't waste your time getting upset about other people's lies. The South Node is still in Sagittarius for another month. Karma's a bitch, baby. Use this transit to dream of your future. Dream of your long-term plans. Dream of all of the love that is going to flood your life. Neptune is all about floods, and there's a flood of love coming your way. And then you can use Capricorn season to give that dream structure and foundation, no matter what anyone else says. Then Vesta in Sagittarius squares Pallas Athena in Pisces at 12:21 p.m. They're both at 11 degrees, 29 minutes. I actually really like this square. I think the universe has a really good sense of humor sometimes. Vesta, the goddess of home, health, hearth, and the harvest, who's been in Sag since November 16th, has been busy studying, teaching, and making long-term plans. As the divine feminine, she's also watching over a lot of the court cases and things that are happening right now. And she's looking at ancient rites and rituals, which ones to let go of and which ones to keep for the new earth. She wants to share her ideas with Pallas, the goddess of wisdom and strategy. Pallas Athena, though, is in Pisces, where she's less focused on negotiating and strategizing than she is dreaming and visualizing through intuition and deep, deep experiences. This transit reminds us that our own spiritual journey is unique, and on our quests, we have to make sure that we take time to integrate what we are learning. We can't be learning, seeking, and then just keep adding it on. We have to allow what we're learning, especially spiritually, time to incorporate into our being. Then Uranus in Taurus sextiles Pallas Athena in Pisces at 5:16 p.m. That's at 11 degrees, 31 minutes. This transit makes me smile. Uranus, the sky god of electricity, revolution, and revelations, shares a moment with the goddess of strategy and wisdom, who in Pisces, like I said, is all about using her intuition. Pay attention to any revelations and intuitive aha inspirations you may receive today, especially as they pertain to nourishing your dreams and what you want to grow. You might be tempted to use medicinal or hallucinogenic plants to receive these revelations, but honestly, I don't think you'll need them, especially if you allow yourself that time to let your spiritual teachings and spiritual learnings integrate into your being, and you give yourself that time to receive those revelations. Finally, Mars in Scorpio squares Jupiter in Aquarius at 10:26 p.m. They're both at 26 degrees, 24 minutes. This happens on Wednesday for many of you, but it certainly brings the energy of the day to a potentially bombastic close. This is big overdoing energy. Overdoing, overspending, overthinking. It's biting off more than we can chew in many different realms. Be mindful and careful to avoid injury or accident with this transit too. Keep near the speed limit when driving today, would you? And be mindful of other drivers. There's no sense in harming others or being harmed by other people's recklessness. On the other hand, you may be full of courage and conviction. This transit wants us to partner with others so that we can move towards the future together. Wednesday, December 8th, the waxing moon is in Aquarius all day. She is feeling vibrant, innovative, and full of unconventional ideas. Channel your inner Einstein today. There is only one major transit today. Chiron in Aries squares Juno in Capricorn at 6:50 a.m. They're both at 8 degrees, 29 minutes. Committed relationships can be so hard. You are not responsible for healing your partner's old wounds. We are only responsible for healing our own wounds, and for that, we are 100% responsible. Be willing to do the work for your own wounds. Thursday, December 9th, the waxing moon in Aquarius goes void with a square to Mars in Scorpio at 1:59 a.m. Don't take it personally if people don't share your vision of the future. She then moves into empathic, compassionate, dreamy, and intuitive Pisces at 6:53 a.m., where she is feeling a little confused about her destiny. Committed partnerships after yesterday's transit get a boost of love and deep connection in the evening. Mercury in Sagittarius trines Eris in Aries at 10:46 a.m. They're both at 23 degrees, 46 minutes. There could be some angry truths revealed today, especially in regards to learning and law, and especially with Venus's square that she had with Eris a couple of days ago. Fanaticism is awesome, said no person ever. I know it's easy to get angry when you see truth being subjugated for profit and power. This transit invites us to be more spiritual about our inner chaos. There are so many different modalities that allow us to channel our inner chaos into power, into inner power. This is one of the reasons I love astrology so much. No matter what things may be like in the outer world, we can use the energy of the cosmos to nourish our spirits through love and living our purpose. We can reflect and say, yeah, that is some intense astrology, and that's some intense stuff happening in the world. And here are some tools that I can use to call in more love. Now that's a truth that I can advocate for. And finally, Friday, December 10th. The waxing moon in Pisces is feeling strategic and spiritual. She has her first quarter square with the sun in Sagittarius at 5:35 p.m. What is one step you can take towards releasing old beliefs? Instead of holding on to those old beliefs that don't serve you, believe in yourself and your dreams. And there are no major transits today. Okay, beauties, except for Tuesday, it's a fairly quiet week through the first quarter moon on Friday. Things start picking up on Saturday, December 11th, including Venus's first of 3 conjunctions to Pluto, a change of signs for Mars and Mercury, and a big full moon in Gemini with big, bold ideas for the future that may make it temporarily challenging to stay in present moment. If you're wondering how to incorporate your ideas for the future into your present moment, I invite you to schedule an astrology and health session with me at www.divinelyjennifer.com. There's no better time like the present. I love you. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a beautiful week and take care. I'm Divinely Jennifer, and I'll see you the next time.